Good morning. This morning I would like to talk about the realm of being and the relative or the material realm. The field of being exists at different levels of reality. At the level of being itself, it is an invisible single arena of pure livingness, pure consciousness, that is as majestic as the cosmos itself. It is still. It is silent. It has no attributes or characteristics that our senses can hook into. In this realm of being, there is no time. There is no space. There are no forms or manifestations. There is only infinity, eternity, and black livingness, vast and unchanging. At that level, being simply is. Out of this deep, mysterious nature, the relative or material realm emerges with its individual forms and structures. We are well acquainted with the relative realm. It is where we live our lives. Its forms exist in space and time. The relative realm is characterized by transiency and metamorphosis. It is eternally changing. Forms emerge from being, are held in being for a time, and then are drawn back into the depths of being. This disappearance back into the fullness of being we sometimes call death. The relative realm is being in its shape-shifting guise. New forms are being continually thrown up by being and then taken back into itself. Nothing at this level of reality is permanent. Every form in the relative realm is transient, destined to eventually disappear. This is true at all scales, from quantum particles to stars and galaxies. The cycle of coming and going is eternal. The forms that emerge from being are fresh and new. Once in the relative realm, they begin the processes of metamorphosis, growth, erosion, and deterioration that we sometimes call aging. The capacity of being to eternally produce new forms out of its own deep nature we call creativity. It is among the foremost characteristics of being. While the relative realm and the realm of being are observably very different, both are being. Each exists as being at different levels of its manifold, universal life. Humans are more than connected to being. Since the cosmos is a singularity, a single unified field, humans are being itself in specific form. We are the current end product in the single, seamless, creative process that has unfolded in the 13.7 billion years since the Big Bang. Our nature as being, called Brahman in India, is an ancient truth that was discovered several thousand years ago. In our time, science is slowly moving in its own way toward this same realization. Humans have access to both the relative realm and the realm of being, though not in equal proportions. We have our lives in the relative realm, and the vast majority of our experiences in life take place there. However, at odd moments, either as an act of grace or intentionally as the result of spiritual work, humans may approach being in all of its splendor. If they can get still enough and peaceful enough to open themselves to the experience of being, remarkable shifts can occur in physiology and consciousness. A sense of expansion, depth, meaning, and sacredness may appear, along with an ineffable sense of rightness, that everything is just as it should be. The Sufis call this experience sa'ada, or nearness to being. It ends, for the moment, the isolation and separation of the human consciousness. It opens the heart to the qualities of being, joy, compassion, strength, will, peace, majesty, and more, and allows those qualities to flow through and light up the human nervous system. As we move nearer to being and it infuses our organism and nervous system, all human capacities are optimized by the coherence and creativity of being. Intelligence, clarity, and discernment increase. Emotions stabilize and deepen. Moods lift. Fear lessens. Every functioning of the human being is maximized by touching being with the consciousness. The experience carries with it an enormous sense of well-being. It often generates high emotion and emotions of gratitude and wonder. These expanded moments are what we live for. Having being at the center of our worldview confers another benefit. It gives us a larger, unique perspective from which to live our lives. If we are wholly trapped in the relative realm, with minimal or no access to being, we are continually whipped around by the chaos, violence, and turmoil of life. Turbulence is our only experience, and life is unceasingly difficult and unrewarding. We are trapped in a framework that is too small. The relative realm is associated with fear and vulnerability and the unknown. We are constantly fearful, no matter how we try to persuade ourselves that our lives are stable, orderly, and secure. We are aware that we are fragile, dispensable, and could be snuffed at any moment. If we add being to our worldview and put it at the center, we shift to a framework of majesty. We can then see our lives in a context of cosmic, miraculous unfolding. We can bring its stillness and silence, its eternity and infinity, its sacredness, mystery, and magnificence to bear in our everyday life. We enter a vaster, infinite reality. We may still endure the discomforts, chaos, and tragedies of human life, but the experiences are leavened by the fact that we are perceiving through the lens of unruffled, infinite, eternal being. We can see our lives from the perspective of that vast, sublime framework. We can experience the orderly, stable, eternal, living qualities of being. The relative realm and the realm of being are connected by several processes. Altogether, these processes transmit the formless livingness and consciousness of invisible being into the physical relative realm. One of these fundamental processes is vibration. Another is light. A third is activating energy, and a fourth is structuring energy. Scientists have now ascertained that at the deepest levels of the microcosm, at the level of quantum particles, matter completely disappears into light and energy. The material world is, in a sense, a phantasm or a hologram, produced directly by some deeper, unseen reality. That unseen, deeper reality is being. The activating energy runs the relative realm. It is the generative force that underlies every event in the world of forms. We are familiar with this. Physics has, since Isaac Newton, given a primary place to energy in our system. Newton conceived that in a collision between separate objects, energy could be transferred from one to the other. Think of billiard balls. The entire edifice of modern physics is built upon his realizations around energy, which are at the base of cause and effect. Now, however, we are being challenged to change. Quantum physics has proved that the universe is a vast, single organism. It is more than connected. It is unitary. It is singular. It is integral. There are no separate parts. Processes other than and in addition to cause and effect are operating to produce the phenomena that we observe in the relative realm. It may be some time before we can get our minds around these stunning realizations and understand what it means for us. The structuring energy that arises out of being molds the life forms around us and ourselves. It produces patterns into which the activating energy flows, producing new forms. For example, an elephant mother always produces an elephant infant, never a raccoon. The elephantness is a pattern held invisibly in being. It structures the protoplasm in the womb into a particular coherent form that we call an elephant. We can never see the pattern itself, but we can clearly see its result in the form of the baby elephant. The miraculous quality of this process cannot be overstated. We are surrounded by a dazzling sound and light show of miracle. Unfortunately, we are too underdeveloped, or too lazy, or too asleep to fully appreciate it. We are on the cusp of a new universe. With all its vast problems, the arc of humanity's development is basically upward. We are moving toward new understandings that will alter fundamentally our understandings of reality. Where we will eventually wind up cannot be ascertained. We probably cannot even dream of what we will become. We are becoming aware of the true nature of reality as being, and of our true nature. We are all being in full metamorphosis, becoming ever more conscious and trying to understand our lives, the life of our earth, and the life of the cosmos. We are today, day by day, living our way toward a great destiny.